Hi sewing friends, welcome to my sewing room. My name is Beth, and if you're new, welcome. Today I'm working on a quilt, and I'm calling this quilt block Old World Quilt Block. I did some digging in my fabric stash and I found these fabrics that have that old-fashioned look to them. As you can see, they are all different manufacturers that I'm using today. These are the ones that happen to have the information on the salvage, so I thought I'd show you that. First thing I'm going to do is cut my strips into 2" by the width of the fabric, and for this first element of the quilt block, if I cut a strip 2" by the width of fabric, I'll have enough for 2 quilt blocks. Now this is just one element of the quilt block, so here I'm straightening the edge there before I cut my 2" strip. I also need some squares for the center. I need a 2.5" square for the center. Here are my squares. There's a center, and I need 2 2.5" squares to surround that blue square, and I also need 2 3.5" squares to surround that center piece. For the outside blocks, the corner blocks for this block, I need 2 5.5" squares, and I need 2 strips. One is 2.5 and one is 2.25. I'm going to surround that center square with those 2.5" squares that I cut in half diagonally, and then I'll do it again with that red plaid, and I should have a square that's 5 inches. I'm going to trim it to 5 inches because it rarely comes out exactly correct. Getting my center square complete, I'm going to sew my 3 strips together. They're all 2 inches, and then I will press, and then I'll cut them into 5-inch segments. up one more element to make for my quilt block, and I struggled a little bit with this one. This is not a quilt block that I had a pattern for. I saw the quilt block somewhere and I liked it, and then I tried to figure out how to make it. So my strips here that I first used to work on the corner there are 2.5 inches, and that was a little bit bigger than I needed. I would recommend using a 2.5 and maybe a 2 1/4 just to save you some fabric, but it still works when these two strips are sewn together. I'll show you how it's going to work. So I'm going to put these two strips together, and with the width of fabric I should be able to get 8 corner triangles for 2 blocks. After pressing my 2 strips together, I'm going to use the 45-degree angle on my ruler, and I'm going to line it up with that fabric and with my mat just a little bit. It's not totally, I see my fabric is not totally lined up on the mat. There I go. And I will cut some triangles all along this this long piece of fabric, and like I said, I'll be getting triangles and they're going to be opposite. So this is one triangle and the next one will be different, so I'll use that on my next quilt block. I cut those 5.5-inch squares in half, corner to corner, and now I have my outside triangles. I'll sew the pieced triangles with the solid triangle there, and I'll trim this to 5 inches so it goes along with the other pieces in this quilt block. They all measure 5 inches, and then I'll have a beautiful old world quilt block. Now I will trim all of these blocks to 5 inches using that line on my ruler right through the center. I put that line right on the seam in the center, so these are squared up. That's why those strips that I use to make these triangles really could be any size. If they're bigger, you'll just have a little bit more waste, but it will work. Here's another block that I'll be adding to my Old World quilt, just using some of those reproduction fabrics and trying to find some fun variations. I'd like all of the blocks to be just a little bit different. This was a fun block to figure out, and I have ideas of maybe trying it in some other colors. This is a very old-fashioned set of colors, and maybe I will try some more modern colors next up just to see what will happen when I put these pieces all together. I love the variety and the surprise of adding different fabrics together, some light and some dark, and the contrast really shows up in a quilt. It's fun. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you next time.